Hello everyone, I'm going to give you a little update on a project I haven't spoken about in a long time, blend.stream. So a little while ago, by a little while ago I mean a few years ago now maybe, was it a few years? Yeah, I think I was still at the old house. Joshua Canalba and I built this as a kind of proof of concept project, the Netflix of Blender, and a lot of people loved this, and I love it as well. It's a place where people can openly submit their films, very basic approval process. People can be set up as approvers. They can assign tags and categories, and it randomizes the layout, so it's quite fair with what gets shown and what doesn't. And when you play it, it just plays for a YouTube embed. So if there are ads that appear on it, the ad revenue goes straight to the original creator because it's just embedding YouTube, which means things don't have to be hosted. Now, this went quiet for quite a long time, and there are lots of different reasons for that. One of them is we did have volunteers that wanted to approve films. I did lay out for how to do that, but then it was very inconsistent. Didn't really want to do it. Ended up with a backlog of 100 and something films to approve, I think. Joshua Canalba went on to work on other things. I think he works for Tesla now at the moment. I might need to double check that. And I had to go and work on other things as well, like products, because, I don't get paid for this kind of project. Also, it's hosted entirely on free tiers of services like Supabase and Vercel, which I'm not largely familiar with. And also, it's kind of more work running a free project like that than you think, even when there's volunteers on board, because we have to make sure that the volunteers are doing it properly. So there's kind of management and oversight work there. Also training people up to do that. For the actual services like Vercel and Supabase, they change over time. It's one thing I actually kind of hate about these new hosting platforms and such, is they all try and bring novel ideas to the table, and then things go wrong. And then because they didn't think about usability layers, whenever something has to change, like for a security reason, which is actually something we're going to get onto a bit more, it's on to the user, the developer of the website, to make every finite change to compensate for the security problem rather than the platform itself. So basically, while this has been hosted in the background and not really functioning as much, still just existing as a cool proof of concept, the platforms, so Supabase for the databasing, Vercel for the hosting, have been getting less stable over time. Or rather, this specific website has, because it's been hosted on older versions of Next.js and the platforms themselves. So it's what I really wanted to do, to be able to keep this alive properly, as in get the flow of the approvals constant and to keep the website up to date with all the changes, security fixes, etc. I would need to not rely on volunteers. It's really not as simple as people commenting on this video and going, oh, I'll volunteer. No, again, it takes work and effort and planning and strategy to wrangle volunteers, and it's not reliable, and it's not really that simple. So what I said in the previous video was that, hey, if my Patreon wage again got to a certain point, I know people are going, oh, this is a way to get your Patreon up. No, genuinely, if I had a reliable little bit of an input, I could then go, okay, allocate that to pay someone to get the website maintained over time, and then they could either do approvals themselves or siphon some of that off to reliably get people to do approvals for the site and stuff like that. But really, it would be more than that, because if that little fund existed, then I could get that person to maintain not just blend.stream, but if we did it in a way where that person was a specialist for hosting, we could do blend.stream and other website projects. And what could that be? Who knows? Other Blender-centric ones? Or, recently I was looking at different websites for hosting documentation and stuff, and I didn't like any of them, and it kind of crossed my mind. It was well, in theory we could build our own documentation hosting site. I've been speaking to someone about course hosting websites recently, and all of the course hosting services are shit in some way or other. And when I speak to a lot of course producers and sellers, they're kind of working around platforms like Teachable and the limitations there. And so I bumped into Guy Mitchellmore, or Michael Moore. I wanted to make sure I got the name right, but I don't know how to pronounce his second name. But he's a brilliant educator and super enthusiastic on YouTube. I haven't spoken to him yet, but he kind of owns this company called ThinkSpace. They provide master's degrees for music. And I mean, you might have actually seen them on the YouTube before because they're quite popular. But they're course hosting websites, proprietary, and it's just fantastic when you look through it. So there's always this side of my mind going on, okay, we've got blend.stream, brilliant project, brilliant idea. I've spoken to some of the Blender Foundation. Actually, no, I haven't. Scratch that. I've spoken to Bo about this very, very briefly. And Bo said, have you spoken to Ton about this? Because I'm sure he would love it. And I said, no, I haven't actually spoken to many people in the Blender Foundation about blend.stream, because I didn't really want to show it off unless I had it as an actual functioning, sustainable thing. But it's not really going to get there at this point. It is open source though. Believe it or not, the code for blend.stream is on my GitHub, I think. It might not be very accessible though. But what I was thinking was, if I did have someone that I could pay to be a hosting specialist for these kinds of projects, we could do this and more. And the number I gave was about £3,000 to £4,000 a month on the Patreon would make A, me sustainable, and then B, a hosting specialist sustainable. Then we could do anything, like really anything we wanted. Alternatively, I could donate this project to the Blender Foundation if they wanted it, if they were interested in hosting something like this, a Netflix of Blender. But there are some technicalities behind it. You know, we've got search features and all that, but I wouldn't really want to offload it to someone unless they actually understood the principles behind it, because I was very, very clear when working with Joshua about this that randomization is important to make this fair for people. It has to only host the embeds for YouTube, so money goes to the original creators if there are adverts on it. And also we had a strict set of like rules for the approvals, or rather what wasn't allowed. Like there was a certain quality level. Now that's always something difficult because we wanted to give like a sense of like inspiration and value to the website. But if you've got like every like 12-year-old's first animation coming in on the site, it doesn't feel so good. But at the same time, you really don't want to like make them feel bad about not accepting just a bouncing ball animation. So I wrote this whole piece like of documentation that I did not make public, but it was about cohesion in artistic style. It wasn't necessarily about the quality as such or like the technical skill level. It was more about just how cohesive something feels as an animation. That was really like the main measurement. So if I was to unload this to someone like Blender, if they were even interested, then I would have to explain that principle to them. And that it's not about popularity, it's not about skill level, but it's also not about just being completely open access. It's just about kind of distilled, cohesive creativity from different areas of the community, from people using Blender to make animations, animated films, things that people can take inspiration from and just show off what they've learned. Now, I say about fairness in terms of the randomization, we did have this cover at the top here, which was like our favorite picks. And by our, it was just me and Joshua. Again, proof of concept. This website, obviously, we would have like wanted to have cycled through it a kind of a bit more, you know, often if you're actually working on it. Unfortunately, one of the main points of doing this video is, though I know a lot of people are now going to try and go to this website to have a look at it, I am taking the website down now. Not permanently. It's because of the security issues. Again, there's nothing like critical. It's just as Vercel's been updating things, they're like, oh, we suggest you update this. Superbase, we suggest you update this. Here are some like access things in the background you might have noticed. You know, oh, you've used the database incorrectly here. It's just like Blender. You know, when Blender does updates or API changes and then some things break, basically I'm just getting like too many emails from the services now going, oh, we've made so many changes, we recommend you update. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the technical skill to maintain this site now, so rather than let it potentially become an issue, I'm just gonna turn the site off for now, and then if we reach a point where I can hire someone to become this like web hosting maintainer, then we can turn it back on. Alternatively, I can offhand this website to someone else more responsible. And again, I don't want comments from people going, oh, I'll maintain it, who I don't know. I'm not going to accept anyone I don't know. I'm sorry. I've had enough of that, you know, as a public facing Blender community member in the past, with people just trying to insert themselves in projects just because they want to be involved, not because they actually want to be responsible. So that's basically the direction now. I'll hibernate it until I can afford someone to maintain it, or if the Blender Foundation wants the project, if they're interested in hosting, then I would be willing to offload it to them because they've already got like a hosting infrastructure. And by the way, this is super efficient. Like, we don't need to do any of the video hosting because it's all embeds. We managed to stay within like the free tiers for Superbase and Vercel the entire time. We had to do some extra caching stuff. Joshua Canal would know more about the intricacies of that. Also, like the thumbnails, I think the thumbnails were just coming straight from YouTube as well. I'm not too sure about that though. I think we needed to do some like page caching stuff, but yeah, ultimately nothing was that bad. You know, and the pages for the films look great as well. I mean, it would just like play full screen. You'd have descriptions. We had like category tags. You could go and support the creator. The logo was kind of simplistic. Didn't want to go over the top of that. Orange and blue for Blender. I know I loved this project. It was just difficult to work with. So I also know that this might be the first time that someone's heard about it. This may even, if some people from the Blender Foundation watch this might even be the first time they've heard about it. Because like I said, I kept it a little bit quiet at this interim time because I didn't want to talk about it unless we actually got it like up and running properly. I also thought about ways that I could do series where I would just do series on YouTube, like the community roundups, talking about new animation projects. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, the AdSense from that will pay for me maintaining the site. But because, like we've said in recent videos, YouTube is so bad when it comes to monetization, even that wasn't really functional. So that is why the Patreon, in my mind, has to be the funding source. And we're on about £300 a month. Again, we would need to get to about 3,000 to 4,000, make that work. So we're not close to that. So yeah, just letting you know that's what's happening. It's not dead, it's hibernating. We've still got all the code, just trying to figure out what is the best path. So thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.